Hey, what's up, my good people? Welcome, guys, to Tech Explorers. And in today's video, we'll be having a look on how you can be able to change your PC IP addresses. How do you go about it? Let's dive into it. It's very easy, actually. So, before we get started, let's get to know some more details about IP addresses. When I talk of IP addresses, this refers to Internet Protocol. An IP address is a unique identifier in a network. Let's say, for example, you are connected to an internet. The router where the network devices in that is on that network will actually give you what you call an IP address, and that IP address is what you call a unique identifier. It uniquely identifies your device in a network. So how can you be able to change your IP address? Let's say, for example, you are accessing some website. There are some websites that are IP address sensitive. For example, you cannot be able to create an account with a certain website if that IP has already been used on that website, or just in case for some other reason you just need to change your IP address. For example, you may want to, you are doing something, you want to be anonymous, so you have to switch you want to change your IP address. Then after some time, after completing what you are doing, you can switch back to the original IP address. So how can you be able to change IP addresses? Actually, changing IP addresses onto your PC, it is not actually a manual. It is not actually automatic, it is manual. Currently, my PC, my IP addresses are automatic, but now I want us to change IP addresses and dictate to our system the IP address that we need. So how do you go about it? Actually, it is very easy. You don't need to be a computer expert to actually do this. You just need to have some navigation knowledge on how to use your PC, and you can be able to do the rest. So all you need to do is just right click onto your PC. Just right click on this Wi-Fi icon. You can see I'm currently connected to the internet. Then click network and internet settings. And you can see I'm using Windows 11. You can actually do this also in Windows 10, or even in Windows 8 or Windows 7. You just need to follow the same steps. So you just need to right click on this Wi-Fi icon, then scroll down. We have advanced network settings. If you are using Windows 10, the settings are still these settings are still the same on how you do it, so you do not have any problem. So in Windows, let's just click this one. The moment you just click advanced network and network setting in Windows 11, it will take you direct to network settings. But you can see this one, it will take you to, that is network settings. Yeah, that is in control panels. But if you check here, the moment you click advanced network setting, you can see we have not been able to, the system has not taken us to control panels. For you to be able to view the adapter, that is our adapters, Wi-Fi adapter, so that you can be able to change IP address, we need to click more network adapter options. So just double click. Then as you can see here, we have what you call we have Wi-Fi settings. So you can go to check the status of our network. So what you need to do is just right click on that. That is Wi-Fi. Just right click. You can see here we have two adapters. We have the Ethernet adapter and we have the Wi-Fi adapter. Currently, my Ethernet adapter is I don't have my cable plugged in. That's the reason why you see like we have an X here. I'm currently using the wireless network. So you can be able to change the IP address of both that is the Ethernet and the Wi-Fi. So what you need to do on the Wi-Fi, you just need to right click here. So first of all, you need to click the status, so that we can be able to view the details of the network that we are currently using. So just click here, that is details. And when you click details, you can see, for example, currently my IP address is 192.168.8.115. My IP subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, and IPv4 default gateway is 192.168.8.1, and also my DNS server is 192.168.1. So what you need to do, these details you need to know them. That is from the IP address to IPv4 that is DNS server, because we are actually going to use these details. So what we do, we'll just type these details here. So we have IP. So I'll just type them here on the notepad. So I'll just type IP address. So it is 192.168.8. My IP address is .115, like that. Then something else that we can take note is subnet. So just need to type that is a subnet. So I need to select here. So let me type the subnet. And my subnet currently is 255.255.255.0. Something else that we need to take into consideration is what you call the gateway. So I just have to type here what you call the gateway, because these are very important details, and we'll use them to change our IP address. So just type gateway like that. And our gateway is 192.168, that is 168.8.1, like that. Then we also have what you call the DNS. We have the DNS, and our DNS is 192.168.8.1. So the DNS is 192.168.8.1. So we already have all these 4 details. So now we can actually close this, because we don't need it anymore. Then from there, you need to click the Wi-Fi adapter. Just right click on the Wi-Fi adapter and go to properties. Just right click on the Wi-Fi and go to properties. Then at the properties, we need to open what you call the IPv4. We need to open IPv4, this one, IPv4. So you have to select what you call the internet protocol version, this one, the TCP IPv4, this one, you can see it. Then you have, after you have selected, that is internet protocol version 4, TCP IPv4, then you click properties. And as you can see here, we have this table. So in case you are using in case it's the first time you are adjusting this, you should find actually this tab like this, that is internet protocol version properties. So it should be like this. So what you do, you need to click use the following IP addresses. So the system will actually allow you to adjust your details. So what you do now, you need to click here and type. We already had these details here. So let me put these can actually put these side by side. What we need is this one. And as you can see here, our IP address was 192.168.115. So we are going to change this 115 to 114. That will be our new IP address. So what you need to do, you need to type here. You type 192.168, that is 8. That is 115. 114. So that is our new IP address. Then the subnet mask will just get typed. The system will actually calculate for you what you call the subnet mask, and you can see it is actually 255.255.255. Then we have to use the same gateway. So you just change the IP address, but for the subnet mask, the gateway and the DNS server, they should be all the same all through. So now here, what you call the preferred DNS, we have to type the same, which is 192.168.8.1, like that. So we can just click here. Then we have what you call the gateway, and you should type your default gateway here. And as you can see, if you can check here, in this case, my gateway and my DNS, they look the same. It is not always the case that your gateway and your DNS are the same, but in my case, they are the same. So in this case, we are going to update our gateway and our DNS. So just click what you call the DNS. You type 192.168, that is .8.1. Then we also have what you call the alternate DNS server. So this one is normally 8.8. So that the main reason why we have an alternative that is DNS, it is because when you are browsing, for example, these the preferred DNS might not be available. So in case the preferred DNS is not available, the system will actually submit that is the data packets through this default you call this alternative DNS, which is actually just the default 8.8.8.8 is actually a default DNS for any server, but what you call this one the preferred DNS, this is a DNS for that is for my network. So you just need to fill the details like that. So the only part you're supposed to change is what you call the IP addresses, and you don't change the whole of it. So like in our case, as you can see here, our IP address was ending with our 114. So you should actually give any value between 1 and 254. This one, this part here, this part we have here, because between 0 and 255, so you are between 1 and 255, so you should not actually give what you should not actually you should actually not give a 0 or a 256. So this is our IP address, but to be on the safe side, because for example, there are some networks which are actually limited. For example, the network administrator has limited the network in such a way that it should only hold a certain number of that is devices. For example, there are some network that can be configured only to accommodate, for example, 10 devices, 5 devices. So just to be on the safe side and to make sure that your device get connected to the internet, you just need to, for example, if it was 114, you can just do a +1 or -1. In case you for example, our case was 115. In case we enter that is 114 and it doesn't connect to the internet, it means that there is another device that is currently using and the IP address connected with our that is 114, and it is on our network. So what we need to do, we need to adjust further. So you can just change 114 and give it 113 in case 113 doesn't work. So you just need to try what you call the random values, because we are trying to take IP addresses that are not currently being used by any device, because IP address, it's a unique identifier, meaning it cannot be shared. So for example, 114, this one, the IP address that I'm currently using, can only be used on this device. So in case, for example, there's somebody else who had 114, that means that in case I am using 114, I will not be able to connect to the internet. So that is how you can be able to adjust. So the next thing you just need to do, you just need to click here, validate settings upon exit, then click OK. The moment you just click OK, the internet will first of all get shut down for a few seconds or a few minutes depending on your PC speed. Then it will adjust, the settings will get validated. So let's click here, just click OK, and just wait a minute. You'll see actually see the system adjusting here, and you can see my internet has been shut down, and the internet now is currently back. So for example, if you now go to our status, the network status here, you can see, just click details, and as you can see now, we have been able to change our IP address from that is 192.168.8. In case there is something popping out on your screen like this, you just need to cancel, because that is just what you call the diagnostic. That's a diagnostic tool. It is detecting like we have a problem, but actually that is not a problem. So you can see our DNS is heading with 114. So what you do, let's now see. Now what we have just changed is what you call our private IP address. There's what you call a public IP address. So the moment you just change that is your public IP address, also your the moment you just change your public private IP address, also your public IP address is adjusted. So in case, for example, you want to see your public IP address, you just need to type ho.net, that is WHOER.net, and search. And I think my internet is a bit slow, but it will actually load with time. So the moment you just type this, you visit this website, you'll actually be able to view what you call your public IP address. I want us to see our public IP address, then we can adjust the IP address we can change our IP address again and see if we'll see some difference. You can see our IP address is 102.168.25.159. So now what we do, let's adjust here. Our IP address is ending with 114. We can adjust to something else like 113 and see the details. Just give my PC some few seconds. I think I have latched a lot, and I also have some other programs that are running on the background. So just a minute. So these are we have a public IP address, and we have the private IP address. Private IP address, they are actually, you can actually find the private IP address that is in your device. But for the private IP address, for the private IP address, private IP address, you find them in your routers, or you find them in your routers. But for the private that is public IP address, that is what is put out in that is in public, and everybody can be able to view. So if you can check here the status, so you just need to go to properties and adjust our IP address to 100, and currently we have 114. We can adjust to something like 112, and all the other details will just remain the same. So validate settings upon exit, then okay, then close. Our internet will actually get shut down a few seconds later. It will just come up. So you can see my internet is back. So if you can run this one, our public IP address, you can see my public IP address. We have this notification popping out, just need to cancel. So you can check here, my public IP address is 102.166.215. So I can just copy it and paste it somewhere here. Then we can just refresh and see if it will change. So we have it is starting with 102, ending with 159. So let's see. So the moment you just change private IP address, it will also change what you call the public IP address. Okay. So now this is what you call the public IP address. So anytime you are trying to access certain website that you are actually limited because of IP address, that is how simple you can be able to change your IP address. It's very simple. You just need to visit the network adapters, go to status, view your IP address, get the details, then go to properties, TCP, that is TCP4, IPv4, then go to network settings. Then you can enter all those details, then make sure you change the IP address at the last part. So that's all we have for today, guys. Goodbye.